So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumaka, my name is Rio, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
This bulletin, 653 new teachers earmarked for both primary and secondary schools this year. Opposition cries foul over new parliamentary funding system for political party offices. And bail application for alleged heroin importers to be heard in court next Wednesday. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. 653 new teachers will be absorbed by primary and secondary schools this year. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says these teachers can start collecting their appointment letters from Friday. Ritika Pratap reports.
Out of the 653 new teachers, 317 will be for secondary schools and 336 for primary schools when the new school year starts on Tuesday. All those qualified teachers who graduated from higher education institutions until 31st December 2014 and were unemployed will be absorbed into the ministry.
All teachers will be admitted as assistant teacher grade 9A, starting with a salary of $12,000. After 1 year of provisional status, if the performance is good, all of them will be promoted to assistant teacher 8A at a salary of $16,000. After the second year, all the degree holders will be promoted to assistant teacher 8G, which has a salary of $23,000.
The graduates can go to their respective divisional offices on Friday and get their appointment letters, whilst those who completed their studies this year can also go to the divisional offices. However, they will be selected based on their GPA grades.
The list will be out on our homepage and as well as in the divisional offices. They can check the names. But all those who graduated, but these are teacher trained. They must have qualified teachers, meaning must have education qualification, apart from the subject matter training. Yeah?
Dr. Mahendra Reddy says they have worked hard to provide this opportunity to teachers to pursue their dreams and, most importantly, to reduce the student-teacher ratio in schools.
Students get more attention to detail. We want teachers to focus on teaching, assessment, class preparation. There'll be, as you know, part of a reform, we want to identify weaker students and take a remedial class every day, Monday to Friday, in second term.
The recruitment will include new established plus vacant positions. All teachers are requested to contact the divisional office and pick their appointment letters on time and report to their respective schools by early next week. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Two people accused of trying to smuggle $30 million worth of heroin into the country appeared in the Lautoka High Court today. Australian Ethan Kai and Lautoka businessman Mohammed Shahid Khan are charged with importing illicit drugs. The pair are expected to have their bail hearing next Wednesday. Khan was represented by Lambasa lawyer Ami Kohli, while Kai in desperation sought legal representation before the case was called this morning. State lawyer Semin Bambitu had requested 21 days to file information and disclosures, and the two will appear again on February 4th. Kai and Khan are alleged to be behind the heroin shipped in a container from Thailand and found at Lautoka Wharf last month. The drugs were allegedly concealed in packets inside the tires of a quad bike, and it is one of the largest drug busts in recent years. Both Kai and Khan remain in custody until their bail hearing a week from today. 5 parliamentary committees are yet to be formalised. Speaker of the House Dr. Chico Luveni has confirmed that while 3 committees were formalised last year, the remaining 5 are still awaiting member nominations. The 5 parliamentary committees, still uniformed, are Economic Affairs, Social Affairs, Natural Resources, Justice, Law and Human Rights, and the Foreign Affairs and Defence Committee. This is in addition to the formalisation of 2 parliamentary select committees, the House and Privilege Committee.
We are yet to form another 5 committees, but we are working on that process. We have had some submissions from the opposition as to their recommendations to membership, and we are just waiting for government to finalise their membership before we establish them.
Speaker Dr. Chico Luveni says announcement of the outstanding parliamentary committees is expected before Parliament resumes on February 9th. Outgoing U.S. Ambassador to Fiji, Frankie Reid, has expressed her delight over her term in the country. Reid says she was privileged to be part of Fiji during such an important political time. Ellen Stolz reports.
Good morning. Ambassador Frankie Reid has completed her 3-year term in the country and is now getting ready to leave for her next assignment. One of the many challenges she faced was in the area of resources for the embassy based here in Fiji.
Operational challenges. A lot of what you do as ambassador, I say, is keeping the lights on, keeping the mission running, increasing resources. A lot of what I do going back to Washington is telling my colleagues and others why we need the resources we need, why Fiji is important to the U.S.
She added that an increasingly stable and democratic Fiji is in the best interest of all Pacific Island nations, as well as the United States.
And supporting programs as countries change, whether it's democracy and governance programs, bringing in election observers, or expanding this regional environment office here.
Ambassador Reid, who has become a familiar face here in Fiji, departs our shores at the end of this week. However, she says that she believes that the trade between Fiji and the U.S. will continue to grow.
You had business investors, as they were in many countries, waiting for the outcome of the elections. But I think the doors are very much open, and we at the embassy receive a lot of interest from various sectors. So I think certainly it's on the upswing.
One of these sectors, she says, is tourism, which, in her view, has grown.
Wouldn't even limit it to trade. Look at the way the tourism market has grown with the U.S. just since I've been here. And I see it. I spend a lot of time at the resorts for one reason or another.
Reid's successor, Judith Kefkin, will arrive next month to take up her new appointment. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Chico Luveni, will lead a parliamentary delegation on a tour of parliaments in the UK. The delegation will include the Leader of Opposition, Rotemu Mukepa, Leader of Government in Parliament, Pio Tikonduandua, as well as the Secretary-General to Parliament, Viniana Namosimalua. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Dr. Chico Luveni will lead an executive delegation to tour the parliaments of England, Wales and Scotland.
We are visiting three parliaments. Firstly is the Westminster Parliament, where we will be meeting with speakers, with the Speaker and also some of the Parliament members, the Inter-Parliamentary Union. These are the organizations that represent parliamentarians worldwide. And we will have the opportunity to observe Parliament in session and the opportunity to establish network with other parliamentarians and, for me, other speakers.
Dr. Luveni says the learning curve for the novice parliamentarians will be invaluable.
Because we are new to Parliament, and it is very important that we do get exposed to other parliaments for any lessons learned from them and how they manage Parliament. We're hoping to pick up some lessons that we could learn from them.
She stresses forming networks with other parliaments are critical for Fiji to learn from, as well as keep up with growing trends worldwide.
And it is so important that we do establish these this network, because I can see that parliamentarians worldwide are forming an organization, to strengthen the interlinkages and partnership, working in partnership to learn from each other.
The Fiji delegation is scheduled to leave next Wednesday for the UK and will be away for 2 weeks. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, Agriculture Ministry aims to implement programs on time this year.
Ya vino pale wana toka chuma ni moshi kwa kana bula FM namba ndio ene sere na ngona ni ndende manda ke central rental sapo ke kana moshi kwa minichi me ba na koloko ni sabola
oya wa wati soni dalai
gonga ya moshi don
nama ke rau mena tolu ke betu ena via kabi moliti ke na kwa rombuka
gori na lali ne kabi bula FM namba ndio ene sere
Welcome back. This is FBC News. An 18-year-old Fijian woman charged with the murder of a 1-year-old girl has been remanded on bail after a court appearance in Christchurch, New Zealand. The woman has also been granted interim name suppression. The New Zealand Herald reports the woman was charged with the murder of baby Alia Ashlyn Chand after police ruled out accidental or health reasons for the death. The woman was caring for Alia last Tuesday when the infant suffered unexplained serious head injuries. Alia died in hospital on Wednesday night with her parents, Anjani and Dev, by her bedside. Detective Senior Sergeant Scott Anderson, who led the investigation, said the age of the baby and the injuries involved make it a complex investigation. A man in custody charged with the murder of an Australian tourist in Singatoka last year has been told by the Lautoka High Court to get a lawyer. Lloyd Richard Senikalvava is alleged to have murdered Tracy Ann O'Brien Moore after a drinking party in Singatoka last year in November. He told the court this morning he sought legal representation, but the lawyer was not present. The state requested 2 more weeks to file information and disclosures, and Justice De Silva adjourned the case to January 26th for mention. In a separate murder case, Suliasi Naisara has been remanded in custody. Naisara allegedly murdered Nitin Navinesh Kumar and dumped his body at Naikambula in Lautoka last year in November. His case will also be called on January 26th. The opposition parties, Sodelpa and the National Federation Party, are opposed to the new funding system implemented for political party offices. The contracts of all temporary relieving staff have expired, and under the new system, each parliamentary party office will now get $15,000 for each of its parliamentarians to run their office. Chanel Sivan reports.
According to the opposition parties, they will not be able to effectively carry out their work under the new funding arrangement. The 3-month contracts of 4 staff from the National Federation Party and 6 from the Social Democratic Liberal Party have been revoked and the jobs were not re-advertised.
We are left with no one to do the work for a political party and for us. And for me, in particular, I am the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. I need resources from the opposition officers. I'm the Shadow Minister of Finance. I need resources to work on that.
On 14th October last year, Secretary General to Parliament Vinyana Namosi Malua allocated a budget of $10,000 for each temporary relieving staff. On 30th of December last year, Namosi Malua wrote to the political parties saying the funding had increased by 50% and each staff would now be allocated $15,000 per annum. On the 8th of January this year, she wrote back to the parties stating she has revoked the 3-month contracts of all the temporary relieving staff.
Continues to interfere in
Prasad says he was informed by the Secretary General that the directive had come from the Minister for Finance, Ayaz Sayed Hayum. Leader of the opposition, Rothe Mumukepa, says Parliament should be independent.
Sections 77 and 79 of the 2013 Constitution. Section 77 deals with the Speaker and her role and the authority that she has in Parliament. And Section 79 deals with the Secretary General. And in both of these offices, it states that they are independent. They are independent and not subject to the direction or control of any person or authority.
The opposition parties are now calling on the Speaker of the House to take charge of the matter and reinstate the previous arrangements. FBC News has sent questions to the Finance Minister, who is on official business overseas, as well as the SG to Parliament. Shanal Shivan, FBC News.
Children diagnosed with diabetes and who come from disadvantaged families in the Central Division now have a reason to smile. They will receive new glucose monitoring machines to monitor their sugar levels. Akusita Tale has more.
These glucometers cost around $40 to $50 a packet in pharmacies. They usually last for a month, and this causes many problems for diabetic children from poor families as they are expensive. The Young Diabetes Association has stepped in by securing funding from the LDS Church for the provision of these machines for the first 6 months of the year.
This is a first for the country in the sense that we are giving it free of charge and maintaining their testing ability by giving free glucose sticks. All this time they may have been given a glucometer or they may have bought a glucometer, but they had to buy the sticks, which is as I said previously, is the more expensive component of the testing.
The glucose monitoring machines will assist underprivileged children below the age of 30 who are unable to purchase their own glucometer.
We find that once diabetics start using these machines and looking at their sugars on a regular basis, there is a better control of their and management of their sugars, of their diabetic status. So yeah, it's a very important issue.
Diabetes Fiji's project officer William Rangele says while they await funding from other organizations, their main focus now is in the Central Division.
They were identified from the various health facilities in the Central Division, CWM, Nosori Health Center, Diabetic Center, and Seronomosi subdivisions. These are the places where the young diabetes are attending clinic.
Patients and their parents will undergo training about how to monitor glucose regularly to avoid diabetes complication, including blindness, kidney failure, and even amputation in Suva tomorrow. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Implementing programs on time is part of the Agriculture Ministry's master plan for this year. Minister for Agriculture Eniese Ratu is currently touring the Northern Division, ensuring that staff on the ground are well informed about what's expected in 2015. Savaira Tamboa has more.
The ministry is aiming to provide services to members of the public in an effective and efficient way. Seen as a key performance indicator last year, this is an issue that continues to be critical in a new year.
Part of the team went across to Taviuni. This is just to see what is to ensure that whatever needs to be delivered by our people is delivered to the expectation of government and especially to the minister.
Other issues the ministry will be focusing on in the first quarter include sector development in Dalo farming, Yangona, rice, and even sheep production.
As for the Northern Division, we fully understand the importance of the Northern Division towards the agriculture sector. We have the Look North policy, which is already being implemented by government. And this is something that we, as the ministry, we will want to ensure that it gets down to the very last person in the grassroots, with the grassroots people.
An estimated $65 million has been budgeted for the Ministry for Agriculture this year. Savaira Tambua, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie, and good evening. Coming up, Ben Ryan still in search of a speedster for the national side, and Fiji Sports Commission call on federations to nominate their best for sports awards. Details after the break.
बॉलीवुड हीरो पंती रे.
Get this.
सपना दिखेला बंद करो।
क्या करूं यार, सबको आती नहीं, मेरी जाती नहीं।
मिर्ची मस्त मॉर्निंग में हूँ अश्निल सिंह।
हाय, मैं हूँ काजल।
शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
6 AM to 9 AM.
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan says the gap left by speedster Samisoni Viriviri is yet to be filled. The current 24-member squad is in camp at Deumba with players trying their best to make the final tour for the Wellington and Las Vegas tournaments. Rohit Deo caught up with the team at Pacific Harbour today.
Sevens is a game of speed and Samisoni Viriviri was one of the best at it. His presence has been missed in the last two tournaments as a replacement of his caliber is hard to find.
I'm still in search. I mean, I think Sathe Urafa's had a great season so far, you know, and I'm looking at him as a rover, really. I think he could also play in the forwards, and in Vegas he could certainly be an excellent wing option. So, you know, he's emerged really well this season. But you're right, as far as, you know, a Viri replacement, I haven't seen one yet on the island.
While finding a player like Viriviri will be a tough task, officials are putting in all the effort to produce the next best available talent.
You know, we've got Apisalami Wangatambu that's done a terrific job as well, and he's again a utility. You could play him at halfback or rover or wing or hooker. But an out-and-out speedster. You know, Nico Virakuta, he's picked up another knee injury, so he's not really going to be probably fit enough to be considered. And he needs to play regularly more for Wardens, you know, not off the bench, get him just playing and playing. I'm sure the Wardens have got an excellent coaching staff, so they can really develop him well in their programme.
After an unimpressive performance at the Dubai and South Africa leg, and with only 3 weeks left for the Wellington Sevens, the question is, has the team found its footing to lift the Wellington crown? Meanwhile, Ryan will name his reduced 18-member squad this Friday. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Red Rock Sevens side is working on its weaknesses in preparation for their own qualifying tournament in Nausori this week. The team lost out in the semi-final of the Ulinakau Sevens last week, where officials found they need to improve in a lot of areas.
I think we are some small changes that we'll do this week, like our line out. It was our failure last week. And secondly, our rucking, it was because of our support play was really a bit slow. That is where we are working hard on.
The first Red Rock qualifying tournament will be played at Ratudakambau Park on Friday and Saturday. The Vodafone Fiji Under-17 team was thumped 6-0 by New Zealand in its opening match at the OFC Championships in Samoa last night. The Fijian youngsters were down 3-0 at halftime and the Kiwis scored another 3 after the restart. In the second half, the team lost Afraz Ali to a red card.
I think we gave the first 3 goals, we gave it to them. It was poor defending, that's what we were talking about. And once we got numbers in the box, they were not able to score. So even with 10 players, we were able to contain certain attacks.
Fiji's next game will be against Papua New Guinea at 1 p.m. tomorrow. The National Golf Association of Fiji is urgently looking for funding to assist them in the upcoming Pacific Games. Despite this drawback, the association has been preparing its team well and is very optimistic of its chances at the Games. Josephine Navula has the details.
The national golf team is again facing the age-old problem of insufficient funding. The sport is hoping they will be able to rope in potential sponsors soon.
We have gone to corporate houses. A few of them have come back positively, but it's not been what we had expected. You know, but if we can get good sponsors on board, then we obviously can do a lot of development, especially around junior golf.
Chandra says despite being a minor sport in the country, funding is very important to keep the swing going.
That golf is not a cheap sport to play. It is expensive. We go out and play at different golf courses.
Despite all these issues, just like any other sport, golf is eyeing a top place finish at the Pacific Games.
Fiji last won the gold medal at Pacific Games about 20 years ago. But this year we have got a good team. I think it's been in preparation for the last 3 years, and that is basically the aim.
The National Golf Association is expected to have their annual general meeting this Sunday after it was postponed twice since the financial audited reports were not available. Now, this meeting will see major changes to the board members as new people will be coming in to undertake the responsibilities. Josephina Vula, FBC Sports.
And finally, in sports tonight, the Fiji National Sports Commission hopes to see all sporting federations nominate their best athletes and officials for the annual Fiji Sports Awards. The awards will be held on February 27th in Suva. Commission Chair Peter Mazie says 2014 was an exciting year for sports.
We hope that a lot of people are going to put forward their best athletes, a lot of our sporting bodies. There's some good talent being identified this year. A lot of good things happen.
Nominations close this Friday. That is your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Construction of the Somo Somo hydroelectric project in Taveuni is expected to be completed in October. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama, on an official tour in the north, inspected the $14 million project yesterday. 30% of the construction has been completed so far. Bainimarama says he is impressed with the project's progress. He was also briefed by Energy Department officials and workers at the hydroelectric project. According to contractor Hunan Construction Engineering Group, wet weather conditions have hindered construction. However, it's on target to be completed before the end of the year. And in weather, cloudy conditions were experienced over most parts of the country today. An active trough of low pressure lies slow-moving over Vanuatu and extends southeastwards just to the southwest of Fiji. In temperatures, it was another day of maximum temperatures in the 30s. Savo and Lautoka topped at 30 degrees, while Suva and Nadi hit 32. It was the hottest in Lambasa with 33 degrees. Tomorrow, forecast rain developing over the western parts of Fiji and gradually spreading over the rest of the group later in the day. Isolated heavy falls and thunderstorms are expected. Further outlook, occasional rain and few thunderstorms are expected over most places on Friday. And recapping our main stories, 653 new teachers earmarked for both primary and secondary schools this year. Opposition cries foul over new parliamentary funding system for political parties' offices, and bail application for alleged heroin importers to be heard in court next Wednesday. To the poll question this week, we're asking, should full banking services be made available on Saturdays? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. That's our news for today. Join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.